Tonight, facing the facts over immunisation rates amongst our kids in the electorate of Grey, parents are being urged to do better. And talking footy this Monday night as we get closer to finals time.
This is Southern Cross News with Alison Drower.
Hello, it's great to have your company this evening. First up, Broken Hill has today been chosen to launch Australia's first ever Cop Watch. The National Justice Project is encouraging Aboriginal people to learn how to effectively use their smartphones to record police interactions.
Watching the Watchers.
Locals have told us there's a serious relationship problem between the Aboriginal community and police.
The Cop Watch program will give Aboriginal people the tools to lawfully and effectively film police misconduct and keep them accountable. The program was launched today in the Silver City and will be delivered across the country.
The rights are basically most important in the whole concept of this Cop Watch. I think the other main thing is that we want the best service available from New South Wales Police, and we want to make sure that those services flow on to our community members.
The program outlines your legal rights when filming police, tips on how to film effectively, protecting your digital and physical safety, among other key areas. SA Police currently wear body cameras to film encounters with the public, and they'll soon be rolled out across regional New South Wales.
So my message to my members out there is, listen, just be professional and do your job. They have a difficult job to do. At times we're dealing with people who aren't happy with our interaction. And if they're going to be recording the situation, all the better for everyone.
One of the issues with New South Wales Police is they can actually turn off their body cams. They've got the right to turn it on and off. And I think it's very important for everyone to know what happens when the camera's off. And that's one of the advantages of what we're teaching today.
Mr Newhouse says Cop Watch is about empowering local communities and giving Aboriginal people an understanding of their rights.
This isn't an antagonistic program. Everyone needs the police, and if the police are doing their job properly, they've got nothing to be afraid of, and the commanders know that.
Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
Meantime, Broken Hill Police will soon welcome 2 new rookies to the city. The 2 probationary constables were part of the recent graduation of more than 220 new recruits for New South Wales last week. The pair will get its first feel for the Barrier Local Area Command, which encompasses police stations from as far north as Toowoomba all the way down to Wentworth. And they will no doubt be keen to speak with 3 other junior officers who commenced in Broken Hill back in June. Well, deciding to immunise your child is something most parents don't think twice about, but around 15% are still not doing it. Federal MP for Grey, Rowan Ramsey, is backing a new campaign after some parts of the region have a vaccination rate of just 85% amongst 2-year-olds.
A second of pain for a decade of gain. Vaccinations are scientifically proven to help reduce the spread of a number of diseases that once destroyed lives. Local MP Rowan Ramsey says parents who don't vaccinate their kids are putting community health at risk.
You are not only a risk to your own children, it's a risk to other children.
However, misconceptions about vaccines are being spread across the internet, despite being based on flawed science. The federal government has launched a new campaign called Get the Facts About Immunisation, which spells out their importance.
Trying to lift that awareness of how important this is and how it's not just important to your children, it's important to other people's children as well.
Mr Ramsey says in some parts of the Grey electorate, the vaccination rate for 2-year-olds is nearly below 85%.
That means 15% aren't. And these diseases do not need that big a population to get a foothold in.
The Australian Medical Association is backing the federal government's program. Dr Chris Moy says the facts are the facts, and counterclaims about vaccines are nothing more than a myth.
So people really need to understand that is completely bunk, and they need to get their children and themselves vaccinated.
For more details, head to our Facebook page. John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Crime Stoppers has today launched its annual list of Australia's most wanted as part of Operation Rome. South Australia's top 3 include Warren Scrivener, wanted for a serious assault, Henry Evans for breaching parole after serving jail time for grievous bodily harm, and Philip Cream, a convicted felon after a robbery in Clare in 2002, who also breached parole conditions. If you have any information on the whereabouts of these men, please call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. Well, a man has been charged with possessing a loaded firearm in public after police stopped his car in Port Augusta. Amelia Simpson has more details on the arrest.
Yesterday afternoon at about 3 p.m, the Port Augusta police pulled over a car on this stretch of road to speak to a male driver. Yet when they looked inside, they found 2 rifles loaded alongside 600 rounds of ammunition. Police then conducted a further search at the man's home in Golden Grove in Adelaide to find these handguns weren't registered to the man. They seized 7 other firearms which were registered to the man alongside 2,600 rounds of ammunition. The 68-year-old man from Golden Grove was charged with a number of firearms offences which include possessing an unregistered firearm and possessing a loaded firearm in public. The man was refused bail and appeared at the Port Augusta Magistrates Court today.
Amelia Simpson there in Port Augusta. Still to come on Southern Cross News, not your average footy beanies. These creations are just too good to wear. Welcome back. A Whyalla man is nursing a court summons as well as a hangover today after being caught for high-range drink driving. The 31-year-old from Whyalla Stewart was pulled over by police on Bevan Crescent at around 6 p.m. and returned a reading nearly 4 times the legal limit of .186. Police instantly cancelled his licence for 12 months and impounded his car. Meantime, P-platers in Port Pirie are being surprised to find that it's not always the case of doing something wrong that gets them pulled over. A new program is rewarding our newest road users for sticking to the rules, as Rachel Nell reports.
The P-Plates in Port Pirie program has been running for over 5 years now, recognising young drivers who are seen doing the right thing when behind the wheel.
Giving away to a pedestrian, a handicapped person, indicating correctly, follow for a distance doing the correct speed, keeping to the left.
While it comes as a shock to see any P-platers amongst the road statistics for death and injury, police say the first months after getting your licence is the time to promote good driving behaviours. And road safety advocates agree the 4Ps program is acting as an incentive.
The P-platers in Port Pirie, if they behave themselves and do the right thing, it'll help when they're driving as they get older.
17-year-old Jessica has been driving for only 2 years and wasn't expecting to be awarded for her good driving behaviour.
I was surprised. I didn't expect to get anything for driving positively.
Local police and the road safety group observe and nominate P-platers, who are then recognised and awarded, but only if they have a clear driving record. And so far, the Positive Ps program is proving to be successful, with the peer-to-peer education component encouraging most young people to take their driving seriously.
It's a good incentive to make people drive more carefully and positively around the roads and be safe.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Well, if you're a keen user of the gyms at the YMCA in Broken Hill, the next few weeks will see a move to temporary buildings as the existing centre prepares for a fabulous upgrade. Pat Reinke has more details.
A major plan, and it's coming together.
Currently, this facility is accessed more than 58,000 times each year, and we're certainly very focused on delivering a community building that certainly meets but exceeds the nature and needs of this community for the years to come.
Mr Simmons says the YMCA is 6 weeks away from moving classes, equipment and facilities to 2 interim buildings. The main building for programs, services, retail and fitness equipment will be here on Oxide Street, while Zumba and Prime programs will be ran in the BIU Band Hall on Glen Street. Both buildings will have creche facilities and will be up and running on October 3rd.
And essentially the transitional process from our community's perspective should really be a business as usual and a seamless transition from the YMCA here in Chloride Street on September 29 through to our 2 interim buildings.
And it's good news for the Broken Hill Squash Club. They'll have access to the courts until early Christmas.
We're pleased to be able to provide access to the club beyond September 29 so that they can continue with their autumn comp right through until November and perhaps into December.
The redevelopment will see the YMCA become a modern fitness and preventative health facility and provide members with first-class equipment.
At this stage, we're looking at a 12 to 18 months time frame of construction and delivery of the new Broken Hill YMCA, which is a $4.5 million facility that will create 20 new jobs within the first 12 months and deliver a whole array of new programs and services to the Broken Hill community.
Patrick Roinke, Southern Cross News.
A row over a gas pipeline rupture that impacted Port Pirie a few years ago is now off to the courts, with the SA government laying charges against Epic Energy. The 2015 rupture near Carrington cut natural gas supplies to around 10,000 homes and businesses in Port Pirie and Whyalla, and the Resources Department is alleging Epic failed to act with due care. Well, it was pack-up day for the Whyalla show today after a successful weekend, and planning is well underway for next year's event.
After a tough couple of years for Whyalla, big crowds descended on Jubilee Park to celebrate a Whyalla institution. Locals took advantage of the dry weather on Saturday night to enjoy another show.
Very, very good atmosphere, so many smiles, lots of children, very family orientated fun.
Traders traded, locals enjoyed the tasting pavilion, while adults appreciated some classic songs in the entertainment marquee.
We had amazing feedback from the tasting pavilion. It was definitely a success. And also our entertainment marquee.
But the show wouldn't be anything without the kids. They enjoyed their favourite rides, while also persuading mum and dad to grab them a show bag on the way out.
What did you get?
A big poop and a banana.
I enjoyed the rides and walking around with my friends.
I've gone on the Kamikaze and the Alibaba, and they've been really fun.
While it's early days, the Show Society is confident the crowd is one of the biggest on record. Ms Pond has praised the community for their support of the show, saying they're the reason the show continues.
Without people coming through the gates, we won't have enough money to put on the next show. So it was absolutely fantastic to see the support of the town.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Well, it's a must-have at the footy on a chilly day, but have you ever considered the humble beanie as a work of art? Well, a national exhibition has arrived in Port Pirie that celebrates the wonder of the beanie, as Rachel Nell found out.
Alice Springs wouldn't normally spring to mind when you mention the word beanie, but the South Australian Living Artists Festival is showcasing a range of 90-plus beanies, each designed to reflect different corners of the country.
It's a celebrated cultural event in Alice Springs, and they've, due to the popularity of it, the Outback Northern Territory decided to tour the beanies.
The themes of the beanies represent different cultures in Australia, with Old MacDonald's Farm, a sumo wrestler and desert-themed beanies on display.
It's just really bright, vibrant. It celebrates the desert. There's birds, emus, emu feathers.
People have been travelling from near and far to see the exhibition.
We've had people come from all over, local people, regional people and travelling tourists that have come to see it.
If you have an eye for art, you'll enjoy this exhibition with lots of different techniques like knitting, felting and crocheting used to create the beanies. But unfortunately you can't wear the quirky beanies, but they can be found in Port Pirie's Regional Art Gallery until August 27. Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
After the break, Amelia Simpson takes us through the results of the weekend footy. Finals time is just a few weekends away. That's next on Southern Cross News. Welcome back. It's Monday night and time to talk some footy now, and it's been a roller coaster of a season and the weekend's rounds delivered more ups and downs. Amelia Simpson joins us now, and Amelia, they're still talking about that big win at Central Oval on the weekend as we count down to the business end of the season.
That's right, Ali. All teams here in the Spencer Golf Football League have just 2 games to go until the grand final kicks off. Things are definitely ramping up here for our teams. The Solomon Town Cats gained a 100-point win over West Augusta right here at Central Oval on the weekend. Third-ranking West Augusta just couldn't seem to get in those marks and straight kicks. Solly's number 11 Carl Muller kicked 2 goals in a row in the first quarter, while other key players Corey Davey brought in 5 goals and Scott McIntyre continued his 8-goal streak for the second week in a row. The bottom two played each other in the battle of who stays on top at Etsa Oval on the weekend. Central straight kicking their way to the lead in the first quarter, 45 points to Port's 6. Port catching up in the second quarter 54-31, but losing their grip as Central kept the goals coming, finishing up 102 to Port's 54. Close game between Prop Risdon and South Augusta, both just 2 points apart in the first quarter and keeping each other on their toes with no scores from either team in the second quarter. The score started to even out in the third and fourth as South Augusta showed its second on the ladder title, gaining a 20-point win over their opposition. In Whyalla, Rupina took a battering from West Whyalla, scoring 2 points in the first quarter and only managing another at the end of the game. A confusing outcome for Rupina, who's sitting fourth on the ladder, but West Whyalla showing their deserving place at the top in the league's last round before the finals. South Whyalla has been ranking third after edging out Rupina's place on the ladder earlier in the season. This week they had an easy win over second-ranking North, Waroona Bay gaining a 10-point win over Central. In Lincoln, reigning Mallee Park thrashed Tasman as expected, 127-66, and the highest and lowest scores for the weekend, with Wayback scoring 26 goals 15 to Boston's 5 goals 6. In the middle of the ladder, Marble Range played Lincoln South with close scoring in the first few quarters, but Marble Range gained some traction on their 59-point win in the final quarter, with number 5 Blaze Kay bringing in 6 goals for the winning team. In Broken Hill, top of the ladder South stayed on top of North, securing a solid win. South's 67-point win taking them straight into the grand final. Central wrapped up the matches for the season with a 14-goal win over West, scoring 7 goals 11, while West only managed 3 goals 11. Central will now play North for that prize second spot in the grand final. A few close games in the York Peninsula, Butte in a tiebreaker with Parsky, with bottom of the ladder Butte scoring 1 more goal than their opposition, both scoring 46. Middle-ranking Wallaroo couldn't hold up to the Southern Eagles, who managed a 17-point win. And Central York and Moonta seeing some big wins there as well. And in the Northern Area Football League, the bottom played the top of the ladder, and as expected, Crystal Brook took out BMW 157-56. Broughton, Mundura and Orroroo seeing some big wins there as well. So, Ali, a great round of footy this weekend with leagues in Whyalla, Broken Hill and the York Peninsula preparing for that grand final glory. And all the other leagues here have just a few games left to make their way into the finals. I'll be back here tomorrow night with the rest of the sports results from around the region. Ali?
Thanks, Amelia. And the nerves were also running a touch high in Broken Hill today as the city's young musicians and choirs hit the stage for the annual Eisteddfod. Students from all of the city schools took to the stage in front of a crowd of their number one fans, the teachers keeping a handle on any stage fright with plenty of high fives. You can see more of the next generation of local talent when the Eisteddfod continues tonight, tomorrow and Wednesday. Hope the judges delivered you all a good score. Stay with us after the break, a check of all your local weather conditions. Well, a rather pleasant Monday for most of our centres today. Just a sprinkle of rain here and there. Port Augusta had a few showers, but mainly fine for 20. Whyalla and Broken Hill made it through to 19, and Adelaide was overcast for 16. On the satellite, a trough tracking eastwards across the state is responsible for the patchy cloud and the occasional shower in the southeast, but skies are clear under a high in our north. On the waters tomorrow, winds will be from the southwest up to 15 knots, seas on a moderate 1.5 to 3 metre swell, and sunrise will be at 6:52, sunset at 5:53. Any cloudy patches should start to clear tomorrow for a sunny 19 in Port Augusta and Corn. Most of our centres will aim for 17 tomorrow. Adelaide might deal with a shower here and there for 16 degrees. So to the 4-day outlooks and the chance of a shower arriving in Port Lincoln tomorrow night, but that should clear for Thursday. Cleve is also fine and mild for the rest of the week. Woodna cloudy tomorrow for 17, but more sunshine by Wednesday. Whyalla will remain under blue skies right through to the weekend. Port Augusta will also enjoy milder temps during the day. Kadina staying on the cooler side of 16 degrees, but fine. And it will also be fine for 17 in Port Pirie tomorrow, then more of the same clear conditions through till Friday. Clare will keep the Cardi handy for 14 or 15 degrees, and Broken Hill is bang on average for this time of year with sunny conditions continuing. That is all from the Southern Cross News team tonight. You can watch more local news via our YouTube channel and also stay up to date on Facebook and Twitter. And we're always happy to get your emails as well. So until tomorrow at 6:30, I'm Ali Drower, and enjoy the rest of your evening.